Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
London Blues 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Lord Boys Blues 1975.
This is Super Thunderblade on the Megadrive, albeit running on my Megadrive Mini 1. Very recently played it on the Amiga, and while it was ballserifically hard, that's dependent upon when I actually made that video live or when I'm going to make this one live. While it was ballserifically hard and clearly not running at the correct speed, I was actually quite impressed with the fact that they tried something that a few of the other ports did not do. Whether you can argue they pulled it off particularly well, kind of, but yeah. And that was to replicate the sprite scaling of the arcade, because obviously, you know, you had two modes, into the screen like this, and then obviously it's a vertical shooter, but you could go up and down. I don't know why I'm saying this. I mean, you know, you weren't familiar with Thunderblade in the arcades. That was released in 1987 and clearly heavily inspired by Blue Thunder, and obviously they literally nicked the helicopter and possibly the title screen from that movie. Anyway, point is, I want to play the versions I played of it, you know, all the various versions, ports I should say, I'll have to talk in a minute, again, because I have great, you know, nostalgia for the Master System version, and I used to love this, really loved this. Didn't have it for my Mega Drive back in the day, borrowed it off the only other kid who had a Mega Drive at school, borrowed it off him, and that's funny because he had it a year or so after me, because like literally I had an import Mega Drive. I was a god at school and he copied me, but he was a spoiled bastard and his parents were divorced, so it was like literally throw money at the kid to keep him quiet. But yeah, so he had a Mega Drive and I borrowed this and I liked it, but years later as an adult I played it on the PC Engine, and I don't know, I just think something about that port really floats my boat. But back in the day I really liked this, and it got positive you know, reviews as well back in the day. It's just that it's aged not particularly well, so put your mind in kind of ICLU sort of, you know, version. That's if you had a Mega Drive back in the day. Now it's called Super Thunderblade, so you wouldn't get confused with Thunderblade on the Master System, which is a banging port. I'll probably play that again as well. But for some reason, when I fire this up and it gives the blurb of the game on my Mega Drive Mini, it says it's a sequel. Even though it's it actually says even though it's incredibly similar to the first game. Let's press fire, because it is. It's basically a very watered down port of the first game. Right. So even though the Mega Drive was like this a year or so after Thunderblade, you know, it was, even as a kid we knew that we weren't going to get it. But it's still Thunderblade. Easy, reverse, players, sound. Right, we're going with that because I got to talk and play at the same time. So fire, and then start, and here we go. Blue Thunder. And also Thunderblade. Think about it. I do remember as a kid watching that, seeing that in magazines and then watching it, they're like, holy shit, it looks just like real life. But no, I have a lot of nostalgia for that. That's cool. That's not in the arcade, you know. And the music's great in this, absolutely great. So lies bottom left, stage bottom right, score top left. Oh, that's fire. So the city is obviously quite sparse. I just got shot. But what were you expecting? It's a Mega Drive port. Be interesting to see when I revisit the PC Engine version how that version looks compared to this. Because again, I haven't played that in about 5 years, and I'm remembering it doing a better job at this stage. Not massively, but actually, you know, doing a better job of this stage. But again, well, we didn't get the Mega Drive in this country until 1990. That was shocking. But I guess in 1989, it got good reviews. So in 1989, this would have looked alright. It really would have. The sprites, the actual bad guys, so look, you can land. Why you would want to in the middle of a firefight, I do not know. But I just did. The enemy sprites are cool. They really are. I like the tinny, crunchy, you know, sound effects of shooting shit. I want to do the, you just want to do, okay, that was cool. The building there. You just want to do the circular sort of, you know, maneuver from Space Harrier to avoid it. But obviously you can't, because there's buildings and shit. Right. Oh, I've got auto fire. Then we got his tank. And I don't know, he's new. So I guess when it says Super Thunderblade and it's based by the arcade and it's got levels of the arcade, they've added shit in. That's funny. That's the noise my new car makes when my seatbelt's not plugged in. I don't even know if I'm hitting him. I'm assuming... Yes, I am. I'm assuming my missiles lock on. The road effect's cool. Obviously it doesn't have hardware to do sprite scaling, so it's doing a reasonable job with the enemy sprites as well. I would have loved it if they used the power of the Megadrive Mini 2, you know, to do a proper version of this. As well as Space Harrier, because the Space Harrier port on it is fucking phenomenal. I've got a gameplay of it if you want to see. I've also obviously reviewed the Megadrive Mini 2. Shitballs. You better have continues, game. You better have continues. I do have a lot of nostalgia for this game. Like I said, it was only as an adult when I got into emulation and shit that I came across the PC Engine version, which I always wanted to play because obviously I'd seen it in Mean Machines and CVG and stuff like that, or the Mean Machines section in the middle of CVG. Considering this is on easy, holy shit. Yoink. But yeah, it would have been, you know, I mention it when I play Space Harrier for some reason, even though obviously this is Thunderblade, that this would have been one of the games I'd like to see them, you know, do an updated version of on the Mega Drive Mini 2. Right, another boss. Oh, top down. Okay, so obviously now we got the boss from the end of the first stage in the arcade, but obviously we don't go up and, well, you didn't in the boss fight, but we can't go up and down into, you know, into the scenery where there being stacked sprites and stuff. Again, there wouldn't be on this boss fight. Oh, fuckaroonie. You better have continues, that's all I can say. I'm just going to hold fire down. We got infinite missiles. I don't know. Oh, they do take off then. So obviously that means they're Harriers. Shit! The boat's bigger. Am I right in thinking the boat's bigger? I think the boat's bigger. How can... I'm not able... Well, I am. I just did then, but... Shooting stuff is quite difficult. I'd imagine it is in a real helicopter as well. The boat's different then. The boat's completely different. Wait, no continues? It's a launch game. Come on. Please. Oh, you absolute bastard. We'll have one more go. No continues. And I have to remember that when I do the PC Engine version. So yeah, lots of nostalgia for this game, which is why I wanted to revisit all these, oh, I've got to press that, Thunderblade games. But, going to be interesting to see how, I know the top-down stage on the PC Engine is fantastic. And also, I think the PC Engine is a nearer port of the arcade than this. But, yeah. The actual visuals in this are better. But not the actual trying to replicate the arcade, if that makes sense. If you understand when I get round to doing the PC Engine version. Assuming I do. I might revisit the Spectrum version as well. I have a lot of nostalgia for the Spectrum version. Was there a demo of it? Did it come on Crash Magazine? I know it was on the cover of the actual game was on the cover of the Christmas issue. Everyone hates Thunderblade on the Spectrum. Everyone really hates Thunderblade on the Spectrum. I really, really like it because once again, you got to remember that's an 8-bit port. And you can actually go up and down into the screen and they stack sprites in an 8-bit game. Like I said, well, the console 16-bits didn't try that. I don't know how I missed that building. Fortunately for the people inside it. Yoink. Ooh. In other words that pilots make, apparently. I'm not going to say, oh fuck it, I'm going to say it. Why am I still alive? I can't believe it. Yoink. I'm pressing so hard on the D-pad that my thumb is gone tits-a-rooney. Now, I know I mentioned it in the Amiga version, but I love the sit-down art cabinet for this. Really, really did. It was amazing. It wasn't hydraulic, like, you know, Afterburner, Outrun, Space Harrier and stuff like that. It was kind of like gears, and you would sit in it, and you'd have a proper helicopter yoke. And then we would move it to the left, and obviously that would steer your helicopter, pilot fly your helicopter to the left, but the chair would turn in the opposite direction. And I remember playing that in Westward Ho, and just, that was, I do wonder if a part of the reason I have such a love of the arcade machine, I have a full gameplay of it on MAME, where I go through the entire game, obviously because it's MAME and I can just keep pumping in virtual money. But anyway, yeah, I do wonder if that amazing little sit-down cabinet is the reason that I fell in love with Thunderblade. Would it have blown me away so much if it hadn't had that cabinet? Well, I can't answer that, can I? Because I never played it without the cabinet. Honest to God, that arcade in Westward Ho, it was phenomenal. I was so lucky that we went somewhere on holiday by the sea as a kid that had that many arcades, but specifically that one arcade that was just an arcade of incredible caliber. And that's where I played Afterburner, Outrun, Thunderblade, Space Harrier, Enduro Racer, Super Hang-On, Wonder Boy 2. You name it, they had it. But most importantly, they had all the big SEGA cabs. And I am aware that this has just turned into a random waffle now, and not necessarily a gameplay of Thunderblade. Thunderblade. But hey, it's me. What were you expecting? My thumb is absolutely knackered. It's hard, this flying a helicopter. Right. Oh, that's my Vulcans. It sounds like, I don't know, I'm running on 3. You know, there's oil in my engine and shit. So yeah, the boat's different. That seems to be a bit choppy, pun intended. Right, you can't stop, because if you stop, you get shot. I know it's a game that's supposed to take, well, not take your money, it's already taken 34 quid of us at this point if you bought it. But you have to stop in order to shoot them, otherwise you're just going from left to right. Which leaves you at the mercy, apart from that one, of the Harriers. There must be Harriers, because they got vertical takeoff, but they look nothing like Harriers. Oh! Never noticed that before, that it's a different boat. To be fair, I haven't played this in donkey's years. Yo! And other words to that effect. But yeah, the nostalgia is strong with this one. Which is hence why we're going to revisit a bunch of Thunderblade games. Get some of that in your life. The music's fantastic. Stage 1 end. Time 4 minutes 60. I don't care. I'm in the zone. Right, what stage? Oh, hello, that's different. I forgot about that. Right, we in the desert and then we fly into the canyon, don't we? Oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah, yes, right. Okay, oh. See, as a launch game, you would have been pretty impressed with that. I'm assuming that they can kill me as well. Whoa, yes, bollocks. Hey, he gave me a life back. Did he give me 2 back? I don't know. Maths isn't my strong point. Ooh! So when I played this, 1988, I would have been 11, 12. But I didn't get it till 1989 because I borrowed it off that kiddie Mark at school. So 1990, 13, something, I don't know. I wasn't far off Super Famicom town at that point. This is bloody hard. Remember, we're on easy. So not only do I have to watch out for this shit ton of hardware flying at me, the shit ton of, you know, weapons there shooting at me, but everything in this cave kills me. And you got no continues. I can't take, oh, I can take off. You got no continues, because why would you have continues? Fuck it. Super Thunderblade on the Megadrive, albeit running on my Megadrive Mini. Yep, I'm going to go for a bunch of Thunderblade games now because playing it on the Amiga reawoke my nostalgia for them. Anyway, I do like this. As always, I'd love to know what you think of this game. Was this one of the games you got when you first got your Mega Drive? You know, because it was a launch title in all regions, as far as I believe. Did you love it? Were you disappointed? You know, did you know that you weren't going to get the arcade? Did you prefer the PC Engine version? What do you think of the Master System version? And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.